Meow. See stream chat 1. Observed stream chat 2. Observed. Cool beans. Let's go. Hey, Fred. Okay, what the fuck? Right.
Howdy.
Oh, can't recall ever seeing you in a coat tank.
Oh, I don't usually wear the coat, but I mean, I woke up to it snowing.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I was holding onto this for you.
You were holding on to what?
That you might want to take
Oh,
a read of that.
I already did.
Oh, you read that? Okay.
Yeah.
What are your personal thoughts on that?
Eh, it's a newspaper. And apparently Tom has been an idiot again.
Oh, Tom is.
And that man tried to tell me that I should be an example.
What was this in response to?
Uh, when I shot Gail after she shot Scruffy. In the sheriff's office, he was all, Buckett, you are you're the most important citizen of New Austin. You need to set an example. You have to be, the shining beacon and stuff. I was like, I'm pretty sure I just set an example. Don't fuck with my dog.
That's the town's dog, let's be honest.
I mean, he lives in a town just like Sandy, but hardly anyone looked at them until I did.
Pretty sure I ran over to the dog, I don't remember.
I know you brought Scruffy to the doctor, but I meant you're more in general.
Oh, and yeah, it's true. Honestly, I was kind of expecting you to say more about the newspaper, but I guess not.
I don't really have much to say about it. Why? What were you expecting me to comment on?
Well, mostly the comic strip.
I mean, that one was funny.
Oh, you consider it funny. Okay.
Yeah. Why would not be funny?
I don't know. I guess me and Audie were thinking it was kind of offensive in a way. Then again,
I don't know. I just digested all the available information into a more light-hearted form.
pretty much. I guess the way I saw it is, I'm like, well, it's sad, but ironically true. But hey, at the same time, it is put in a more simpler form for them people that don't like to read the whole statement that you gave.
Yeah.
It just felt less like a comic and felt like looked more like a stab. Like to me personally, it looked like a subtle stab while not being subtle at all.
Have you ever met Dave?
Yeah, I never expected anything like that from him. So
We're on
then
good
again, it's been a while.
terms. We're both not really good at euphemisms and such. So I think if he wanted to actually take a stab at me, he'd probably draw something more like me stepping in a pile of poop.
I guess that's fair.
Also, did Fred mention what he just mentioned to me?
Did Fred?
About the woman?
Oh yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what an armadillo's L is.
I have no clue either, but did you send a telegram to Law about it?
I have not yet. Both me and Audie did take a look, and we ended up talking more about what's going on with the shop. Not gonna lie.
Hmm. I'll go send a telegram to Snow then.
Apologies.
It happens, I don't blame you. I have to go check telegrams anyway.
I doubt I got any telegrams, but might as well check.
Hmm. I did get a telegram from Sally the other day.
Too late for that. Mask ain't gonna
Oh.
save you now.
Said she had to be out of state for a while, and that's why she was so absent. But she'll be around more. Oh. Okay, nothing new since last time I checked, but I need to contact Matthew.
Oh yeah, never mind that. The last telegram I got was from you about the whole imprint of
Oh
a
yeah,
body.
Help much with dust around here.
that was because I was laying on the deck for a couple of hours, so the dust kinda created an outline around me. Went swimming that day as well. It was pretty
Hey, there was an
interesting.
entire search party going on during that because no one knew what was going on with it. All we saw was an outline.
Huh.
And after I got that telegram from you, I kind of laughed a little to myself, just thinking there was an entire search party just because of a man that decided to take a nap on the front porch.
Yeah, just the one
And it
day
was
I
not
forget to sweep the porch before, closing up for
like,
today.
we all thought someone got murdered or something, but there was no body, so that's why we was concerned.
If someone got murdered, it would also be blood.
Yeah, and that's what we thought of, but it was like, well, maybe they were thorough or something, but not too thorough. Yeah, Audie and me were talking about how, well, first of all, we finally got to meet.
Well, that's a first.
He's not as bad as the papers make him out to be. I
Like the
think.
papers make him look bad. What?
I know. I feel like a lot of the all the papers at least that I read about him made him
Here's the
out to
thing you
be.
should know about the paper.
They're over dramatized.
The Pascal press will print just about anything you give them.
Oh, I'm aware. We were actually talking about that. We're not the biggest fan of the most recent person that's been hired to it. Poppy, she dramatizes things, but Calhoun, he likes to stir a much bigger pot, one that could be set on fire. But hey, I guess if that's what gets people to read the papers, right? I mean, it works.
And did you see loose article that got put on the notice boards.
I kind of skimmed through the paper, but no.
No,
What
not the paper.
Oh.
A few days ago, there was an article posted on the notice boards by an independent reporter.
Oh. I personally did not notice it then.
I'm sure it's still somewhere under the fresher posters.
Oh. Tia?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, best cover your face.
Oh, sorry about the rough awakening.
Oh.
Hi, Arnie.
Oh, hi, Bucket. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty okay, all things considering. I had word from Sally, so
Oh, how's she's doing?
she said she had a bunch of business out of state, and that's why she was absent.
Oh, I see.
Did say she missed me too, and that she'll be around more, she hopes, so.
Oh.
Oh, god damn. Mrs. Hansia.
I mean, she's my best friend, of course I miss her ass.
Now I see what you mean by Tom's in a bit of trouble.
Oh, yeah. Tom's...
Something about solitary.
Yeah, he...
You gave me a newspaper wondering if I'd read it yet because you were worried about the comic and you did not read about the part where Tom nearly bashed a man's head in on a wall in a cell in Sisika and got suspended from his job.
Honestly, no.
That's some bad
I
luck.
did.
My man's focusing on what's important.
I did say I kind of skimmed through it.
An informed citizen is a smart citizen.
True, but I currently do not have an excuse at this time, so I will plead the fifth, as they would say.
We're not in a court of law, and I'm not a law enforcement officer, so that doesn't really work. Check and mate.
Damn it.
I think he wasn't suspended, he actually resignated.
Let's just say if he didn't resignate, he would have been suspended anyway.
Oh, he would have probably been impeached, actually.
No.
Though they didn't impeach Marshall, so...
Well, didn't he also hand in his badge right after that?
Yeah, I don't know the specifics. I guess he resignated as well, and then he got taken on as a ranger.
Yeah. Kinda odd that it didn't end up in court or anything, no. Like, he's a good
There was
person,
a
I'd say,
hearing.
but You'd think that after you shoot someone in the head, there would at least be some kind of legal follow-up.
There was a court hearing, if I remember correctly. It was just kept down low. So at least he had his appearance in front of a judge, but it wasn't made public.
That makes it a bit hard for the public to realize that he did see some form of legal repercussion for it, because if the common citizenry is not aware that he has actually appeared before a court of law, they're going to assume that he was just let go on the charges because, well, he put down the badge and put on a ranger badge, so to speak.
Well, not right away. He had his probation period and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but I'm more talking about public perception can be a really nasty beast to handle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And sometimes you need to, sometimes there is the public who to keep in mind when sharing information, sure. Active investigations and that kind of things, sure. The problem is if if you appear not to be transparent, and through that people do not see that all parts of government are held accountable for their actions when they commit actions. People are going to start losing trust, and when the people lose trust in the government, that's when shit goes downhill.
I believe that's what we call chaos.
No, that's true. They should have at least made some sort of if not to keep a public hearing, they should have at least make a public announcement about it.
But I did just read the thing from Tom, but all it mentions is that Tom, it was written before his resignation, but there's nothing really about his resignation from what I could tell.
Yeah, I think it was handled. There was a bit of it with the Buchanan article on the front page. What Tom did.
And this is why he said what he said. An informed citizen is a smart citizen, and apparently I'm just not reading things thoroughly.
I mean,
Something
I
that's
mentioned something
interesting, I
about
think
Tom,
I
and
read
you went looking for an article mentioning Tom.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's kind of why I read about you, because he mentioned about the newspaper, and I was like, oh. To be honest, I did not read the most recent one, so then I read it. Well, I was looking specifically for the thing about you. I was like, oh, I see now.
Have you read the comic, Buckett?
Yeah.
He doesn't care much for it, apparently. He found it funny.
Yeah.
I just figured that was a bit disrespectful, but I don't know the relationship between you and Dave that well, so.
Dave and I are on good terms, so. Guess we just have a bit of a different humor.
See, if you were to do something like that, I would know you were just joking about it because it came from him, and I don't know him and you's relationship that well. That's the only reason I took it as, wow, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dave, he doesn't do things to be rude or poke fun at anybody maliciously. Might be that he wanted to, his intentions were to, bring attention to this issue. But he just, being Dave, he went the worst possible way.
I mean, there were worse ways he could have gone about it.
Yeah, you said something about stepping in shit or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have gone and shoot Tom or something.
Oh, believe you me, there was a day I almost wanted to shoot Tom.
I feel like I know what day that was. Cough.
What?
This the day with Gale or?
Maybe tomorrow everything.
I feel like
Nah.
it was the day with Gale. That's
That
what I
was
was
not the
thinking.
day.
Okay, then
It
I
was
don't
the
know.
day that I filed a complaint with him about someone in his department,
Oh, this, yeah, now I remember.
and he was being very dismissive about it until I put my foot down. I was like, Tom, if someone in your department acts like this consistently, you're gonna have a problem that nobody wants to help him or anything he's involved in. But he's also just been blowing me off every time I mention, like, I don't see you for fucking weeks, and he's like, well, I'm in Armadillo. I was like, yeah, but you're not here when when I'm around. Neither's anyone from your department most of the time.
Yeah.
And the amount of times that I've ridden into Blackwater to see the entire department sitting there whilst I haven't seen any of them in, weeks. And then also see, like, it's an absolute chaos with horses unhitched everywhere. And then you bring it up, it's like, yeah, no, it's okay. And as he says that, a horse gets run over by a carriage.
It's okay. What? Oh, that just happened. But it's okay.
And he proclaimed them wild horses, and I'm like, I have never seen wild horses with saddles on them, motherfucker.
That is true. That is not how wild usually works.
Usually there's a person who put on the, unless somebody goes around saddling all the wild horses around them.
Yeah, but
Pretty
wild
insane,
horses would
some of
still
them
not
are.
be so calm within town.
Oh,
Because wild horses
they
would
wouldn't
just
even
run.
get into towns.
Yeah. I mean, it has
Be
happened on
acting like
occasion
wild
that some
Mustangs.
wild horses run through town, yeah, but that's a lot rarer than the amount of times I see a horse just unhitched in the middle of the street.
Yeah. Imagine if there was a criminal gang in New Austin.
They wouldn't even fucking know. Because they're never here. I'm sure that they do their jobs, but I don't see it. And there's not an
Maybe
awful lot of people living here in New Austin, so you quickly get a public perception that the law department is not really, around as much as they ought to be.
I have a very, very, very bold thought, but I really hope it's not the case.
What?
I do sure.
Is it just me, or are we very slowly turning into the next Thieves Landing?
Ah, yes, let me just build a pier from, the top of my store all the way to the St. Louis River.
No, I mean in the sense of it's becoming a bit like an outlaw town. With the amount of law that ain't around here.
I mean, if we just had some outlaws.
I mean, aside from apparently someone trying to get into Fred's cash register, I haven't really noticed any crime around. Have you?
No, not personally.
Okay, so we're not the new Thieves Landing, because the half the
Not the yellow
population of
list.
Thieves Landing are Del Lobos. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
practically a gang town, and we're not. But that's one of the ways I could tell that Tom was not exactly truthful when he mentioned I'm in Armadillo all the time, because you know how they always put up those law rosters on the sheriff's offices when they've been through, right?
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of times those weren't up here in Armadillo or Tumbleweed, but when I got to Blackwater, they were up and all their law were there.
The last roster I saw was for the Rangers.
Yeah.
But I mean, now you got if what Fred tells is true, now we got actually evidence that there's actually crime happening in New Austin. So
Yeah, but it's not the first time that some random person has walked into a store and tried to break into a register anywhere in the state. I've had to report my fair share of coming across evidence of such in other stores.
I mean, Fred could have given a better description at least. Got something to go off at least.
Oh, by the way, I found what you mean by it was in the Buchanan article.
Oh, the one on the front page.
Yeah. It was an entire paragraph dedicated just to the thing about Tom and him beating the hell out of Buchanan.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, let's be honest, like, if anyone were put in a cell by themselves with Buchanan, I'm pretty sure most people would do the same thing. But, I mean, the thing is, Tom is a man of the law. He is to be held to a higher standard than everybody else. He should be a shining beacon, as one would say.
Yeah, he is the one
Cough,
who
cough,
has
ha,
to
ha.
enforce the law. So he has to know the law, so he definitely knew that beating up a man in custody in a cell in a prison complex is,
I hope you saw what I did there, though.
I didn't see what you were doing. What?
He should be a shining beacon and all that, setting an example.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't. He was never good at that himself. He was a good sheriff, don't get me wrong, but the amount of times I've had to yell at him to slow his horse down in town, to the point that Sally told me that the next time it happens, I should just actually report him to another, lawman for his actions. But, they're all human. People try their best.
Yeah.
And now we got Snow getting to be at least acting sheriff a little bit early before the elections. Well, the elections are concluded, I mean.
I wonder what this is going to mean for the election, since Tom, I'm pretty sure, endorsed a good portion of people. If that's going to change the public's perception of the people he's endorsed.
I mean, the endorsement thing is also a bit, let's just say the endorsements I have seen are a bit odd at times.
Oh, I don't trust them endorsements.
I mean, endorsements are just, if you trust the person making the endorsement, it's their way of showing, like, hey, I trust this person, so if you trust me, you can trust this person. But it's just kind of odd to see candidates giving each other recommendations.
And that's why I'm confused. Like, okay, so either way, from the same, like, the way I see it is honestly, like, if a candidate's endorsing another candidate, it just seems like they're really just going for the exact same thing, and no matter what, both sides win in that case. So who's really winning in the end?
Hopefully the people of the state, by getting representatives that are actually doing, their job well.
I would hope so.
I can see also giving an endorsement. Let's take for example, Devlin Sampson giving his endorsement to Matthew Snow. Now, even though Devlin Sampson is running for Associate Justice, he's also still the standing Chief Justice at the moment. So he can give his endorsement as a as a current Chief Justice. And Matthew Snow can give his endorsements to maybe some Associate Justice runner as an undersheriff. But maybe the one that doesn't really feel that is Joey Bonnet, who is still. I don't think he's working with the prosecution. He's still he's still a lawyer, just not employed by the state, so he cannot give an endorsement as a position, holding a position in the government.
I don't really look down on people that don't have endorsements. I kind of actually trust them just a little bit more, because that means they don't got high friends in high places
I mean, I'm pretty sure
that are gonna just
endorsements are
push
not
them
just
to the
limited
top.
to people who work for the government, though.
No,
Because
that's why it's
Larry
just
Strawberry
weird.
got nominated and endorsed by his own damn wife.
Well, I mean, yeah.
What they did?
And that's why I take a lot of the endorsements with like a bit of a grain of like a grain of salt. I don't take the endorsements too seriously. I just read on what, like, if someone says something about how they are, I go based on the person and what my impressions of that person is.
Yeah. Honestly, I
I
hope
don't care what
Devlin
other people
Sampson
think of the
doesn't get
person.
re-elected, though.
Right, you what?
I don't want Devlin Sampson to become a judge, so...
Oh, that's
Because of what
fair.
happened.
I know a lot of people don't want him to be a judge, so...
Oh yeah, I
The
was
thing
just
I
talking
feel
about
like
it
is
earlier.
if he gets elected, I mean, did anything really change?
Nope.
It's just like with their current governor, I believe. Like, what really changed?
I mean, from the
Harry's
way
doing
I
a
see
good
it,
job as far as I'm concerned, but you know...
He hasn't done anything bad, so I mean, I'll give him credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
yeah, well, Harry's got a good head.
He's doing the best he can, and he did, you know, crack down on Devlin when he did that thing with the ranch and his racetrack.
I did see that too. Like I said, I did skim a little bit,
Yeah.
just not very thoroughly. I hate that word.
And on occasion, I get to talk to Harry one-on-one, and he's always very receptive to, you know, my thoughts and ideas, and, you know, my reflections on things. He might be a bit busy, but he is truly in his position to serve, you know, everyone in the state.
He's still present.
He's what?
He's he's still present. Like, he's an active listener. He isn't just the type of person to have what you say to him go through one ear and out the other and just completely ignore what you've said.
He didn't drop everyone who helped him get to his current position, no.
Pretty much, yep. That's pretty much what I was saying. You just worded it better. With the upcoming election, I have no idea who I want to be in the positions. I'm going to be honest.
Well, you're standing next to one of the candidates.
Yes.
I mean, Adia's my vote, but that's kind of a given.
Audie's the only one I know of so far. I'm pretty sure that I've met.
I mean,
That I can
I
remember that
know
I've met.
I've seen Adi and I've seen Joey Bonnet active at the same night in the same courtroom, so...
I've never seen this Joey Bonnet, but I've only ever read what I've read about him.
Let's just say he's a very passionate defense attorney who is very big on, you know, civil liberties and such.
Ain't been affected at all by this calamity.
And he fought even hard. He fought hard even for a hopeless case like Kian.
Even then, fucking hell, the law fucked that one up.
I mean, the way I see it, Devlin also didn't call up all the witnesses that were stated to have observed the event.
They woefully
Because,
focused on the wrong things.
yeah. But it kind of already showed me what kind of person Devlin is. He didn't care about getting the truth on the table because the moment he stood on the stand himself, and he was straight up asked, did you hire Kian Walsh to, you know, be be a security guard to protect people from harm. And he was like, oh, I don't know. It's like, how the fuck do you not know you hired the man to do exactly that, and you
You
sit
either
there on the
did or
stand?
you didn't. There's no middle.
Yeah, there's no, oh, I don't recall. It's like,
It's like, did you not like? Do you not keep track of the people you like hire just in case? It's like a safety thing.
yeah.
I
Sometimes
really do.
situations happen. And it's like, it makes sense to have security. And, well, this time something happened that was unclear what exactly happened. And, the people that were brought to the stand, they couldn't really properly tell. But it kind of looked like he, executed a man.
I just feel like Devlin should focus on his horse racing stuff and not try to get into all
Oh,
these various different positions, into various different things.
believe you me, I had a good conversation with Harry about that when I rode with him to that farmstead to observe what the fuck happened.
Like people say, you should
And,
put eggs in many baskets, but I think you should focus your eggs in one basket, personally.
well, it depends on what you do, but Harry and I are in agreement that uh, let's just say if you're a judge, you should not have a second job.
I can only imagine how much a judge gets paid.
Oh, that pay is great, actually.
Plus, hey, all it takes is someone going against, your second job, and well, you can't judge that because of
Yeah,
bias and all that.
but that was also the thing why I brought it up to Harry, and Harry also agreed. It's because, Devlin Sampson is the acting judge of the state. And he also, without permission, built a staircase to the roof of the farm building and all kinds of other things. And then when he was confronted with it, he threatened people with legal action.
I mean, you could imagine that somebody as knowledgeable as Devlin would at least, fucking ask permission before he goes and does something like
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Well,
When I got there, Snakes was there too, and Snakes mentioned that one of the prior races took part on his property without his prior knowledge, and even went straight through his wheat field and caused, immeasurable damage. And the only reason he didn't bring it up was because there was already so much going on at the time, and he didn't want to start, a whole thing.
the whole Kian thing.
that's the wonderful thing about power. Some people get given power, but some of those people don't know to handle that power. Sometimes it goes straight to their head. Let's be honest.
I mean, he's also been the acting deputy governor, and there have been a lot of people who have expressed what the hell is he actually doing, because all we see him do is sign his name under some laws that,
I mean,
well,
that's all
they
I've
were
noticed.
missing, and organize horse races. That was all he was doing during that tenure.
Uh, he was doing well, obviously he took part in the meetings and designing it all, but it all mostly happened behind closed doors, so I can see how the public perception might not be favorable for his time as a deputy governor.
Yeah, but there were also a lot of people who had expressed concerns about Theo Ford. But that's just what you get in general when you put people in charge who are not elected.
Yeah.
Well, wow, you
The
didn't have to
thing-
kick me there.
Yeah, so the thing is that the thing back then was, well, we didn't have enough people for the, elections. People weren't getting, weren't getting, there wasn't people to run for those positions. the way I got my sheriff's position was because fucking hell I was appointed, pulled straight from my justice job.
Yeah, no, I get that. That was because I got here when you got here. It was still straight up chaos in all echelons of government. I get that,
Mhm.
but it was taking awful long time with no options for anyone, you know, any civilians, so to speak, to really, express whether they actually supported the acting government or not, because some people who expressed concerns were verbally shut down by both Theo Ford and Devlin Sampson.
Mm.
That's also why how should we say, group of people came to be that wrote a letter to the newspaper about it that, offended quite some people, but they were expressing what they were feeling at the time, the
Yeah.
perception they were having, because there was so little transparency, and the people at the top of the acting government were just straight up assholes to people who didn't agree with him.
Yeah, that was. So I certainly say that things could have been handled a lot better back then, but with especially with transparency. But at least it was from the start designed to be a temporary solution to the problem, and after that the election started running, and not just because of that letter. We had actually been planning for those elections for a long time already. Just
Oh, I know.
making sure that.
I had been talking with Harry a lot on the subject of, bringing democracy back to the forefront and such.
Yeah, we
But
had some talks with Harry about that as well, and
no,
Patton even.
I haven't seen Patton in such a long time.
Yeah, he got himself a big man job. As fucking what was it? Was it a federal judge or state judge? He
Federal
got
judge, I believe that's what I heard at least.
yeah, yeah. So he went off to the Washington. Not gonna envy him that much for his
I just
position.
noticed something about your nomination. How do you say your middle name? Is it Johannes or Johannes?
Oh, Johannes.
Okay, so it is. It is like a Y, not a
Yeah,
J.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's
Anglicized, his
because
middle name would be John. So,
the John Forsman. Yeah, like
I guess right now, looking at the various nominees or whatever you want to call them, it's definitely between you and Bonnet. But I don't know Bonnet that well. But I also only really just gained my first impression of you, like my real first impression.
listen, if I had to pick three people, Adi and Bonnet would be no brainers for me. I've seen them both in action. I
And
trust them
that's
to be
what's kind of
fair.
this.
And honestly, I would vote the unknown person into power over Devlin Sampson. I don't want that man in power.
So from what you're saying, you wouldn't complain between either of them two as long as it's not Devlin, essentially.
I wouldn't complain between any candidates that are just, not Devlin Sampson.
Fair.
seems to be the
Are
sentiment.
you saying if someone nominated a pig, you'd vote a pig over Devlin?
Yeah.
That's depressing.
And the worst part is, I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Devlin Sampson has dozens of people that are likely not going to vote for him.
So one would imagine, but the thing is, everything is still up in the air because, well, I just remember I was supposed to be, sure pick for the Sheriff of the East.
Yeah, but you see what took you down is the same thing that's taking Devin Sampson down, and that's public perception.
Yeah, and
Because I
that's
tried
kind of
to
my only
fight it on your
worry.
behalf at the time, but a lot of people were negative about your sheriffship because they didn't see you as much, not realizing that you were active and you were recruiting people. But there were various factors that just, weren't favorable towards your previous, tenure as a sheriff.
And Adi, that's what I kind of told you earlier. Like, the impressions I got from the papers and what I've heard. I'm like, unfortunately, like that was the quote unquote first impressions I was getting was stuff that I've heard through other people. So it was a lot of he said, she said about so and so. So now that I've met you, I'm like, that those thoughts are still there, and I can't really say much on those things other than what I'm hearing. And I mean, yes, you can say a bunch of things, but like there's always going to be, that perception there, but that's bound to happen no matter what.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold it against you. Oh, hold you for that. It's
I'm not saying it's a
the-
bad thing. Keep that in mind. I'm just saying
yeah,
it's there.
yeah, and the thing just is nobody brought this up beforehand, before the elections. Everybody around me that I spoke to just said, "Yeah, you're gonna make it to sheriff. Everybody's gonna vote for you." But let's just say it was a rude awakening when I saw those things in the paper.
Yeah.
But the only reason I'm kind of swaying towards you more than Joey is I don't really I've never met Joey. I don't know him. I have no real impression other than at this time it's once again a situation of he said, she said. In this case, it's what Bucket has said. But like until I gain my thoughts on him, I can't really have I can't have a professional opinion on him as to how he do.
Right. Since it's an election for three positions, don't we get to like pick three candidates during the election?
Know how that works. I only know that the three who get the most votes get picked.
Sounds a bit
I know the
odd, to
Western
be
sheriffs
honest.
are going to be quick as hell because, well, only one person's been nominated.
Well, you can still get no confidence,
Oh yeah, that's true. That
and
that
that's
is
where
true. That did happen.
Yeah, if
Snow
it's
has been thrown in the deep end right now because of Tom's actions. Because now he
And
has to act as a
that's where it's
sheriff.
awkward. Because then we could do the opposite of the last election, where instead of it being the Eastern sheriff that got the vote of no confidence, this time it could be the Western sheriff that gets the vote of no confidence,
Hmm. I'm just gonna
which would
reserve
be awkward.
judgment because, need to see how he does his job now as acting sheriff, which is both a blessing and a curse for him. Because if he does
I
well,
mean,
it solidifies his chances for a re-election. Well, election, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
Yes,
But if he
I
fucks
understand.
up, it will, it may lead to a situation where we have to have a
That
acting
won't help
sheriff
much with dust
assigned.
around here.
Which
can
I've
do
stated my
everything.
opinion on.
I'm
Them getting
I'm also
elected by the high powers that be.
I'm not too worried about it though because I got faith in Snow. I was kind of hello there.
Hello,
Hello, Tom.
Howdy.
party there.
How do you feel about having
Yeah.
a criminal record?
Well, considering for those four, I have zero regrets.
Too late for that.
I'll do it
Past ain't
again,
gonna save you
and I'll
now.
finish the job this time. But in saying that, is what it is.
Mm.
How is
Let's
everyone
say-
here?
Not bad, just
Shooting
talking about
shit.
election stuff.
Yeah. So are you still law, or do you just wear that star on your belt for fun?
I have yet to take it off. I keep forgetting.
You see, this was what we was talking about in that snows thing. Anybody can put a star on their belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a star in the end.
It's also
I
because we
guess.
originally
As long
moved
as no
here
one's going
because at
around
the
claiming they're law
telegram.
enforcement. I mean, that's no issue, but then again, what do I know? I'm not law enforcement.
Well, neither am I. So what can I say?
That is true.
See you later.
Yeah, best
See you
cover
later.
your
Adios.
face around here.
I think that's what they say across the ocean. Across the river, actually.
I was about to say about what?
It's literally next to us.
I just saw him speeding through town again.
Ooh.
Through the window.
Well, I believe it. But hey, he just said it. He didn't regret any of what he did, so.
I was regretting this speeding through town. But he stopped for a drink or something.
I should ask Snow if I can legally shoot people who speed through town.
Oh, we can be the...
You know how many people would be shot then?
Well, people would certainly learn real quick to stop speeding through towns.
I mean, it's not as long as it doesn't get to the extent that Larry Strawberry man got to. It's all right, right?
What did he say on his election? His little election pitch was trains and guns.
Didn't he say so? I heard rumors that he said stuff about we should just be able to shoot people or something.
Oh, he wanted to do away with a whole bunch of law specifics and just make every crime an hangable offense. But he was also actively drinking during the whole debate, so...
Was it anything good at least?
Post this up anyway.
Well, we've already told you what effectively his whole campaign was. Guns,
Yes.
trains, and hangings.
Yes.
And him falling over because he got too drunk. Oh, and his running mate, Wilbur Bronson, apparently was planning to kill the president or something.
That man
so
would pay a train ticket just to see the president.
It's more the president came here.
Oh.
Yeah. He was standing on top of the bank's roof waiting for the president, and when Law went to get him down, he started shooting at them. And even shot at me. To me, he said that he just wanted to talk with the president.
Good.
So,
Bullets aren't words. They're two different things.
there was actually a picture I quite like from that whole ordeal. It was even published in the paper. It's me holding a rifle.
Huh.
I think it was in the same number that was published that anonymous letter that dragged me through the mud.
Did they at least get your good side?
Oh yeah, definitely. I looked mighty in that picture. Better than my last appearance on the paper. It was some picture from one of them horse races, I think.
You know what we could do?
What?
We could start our own newspaper.
Oh.
With scrutiny. And fact-checking.
Oh, we could make a paper solely to fact-check Calhoun.
Every single paper would come out the day after all the other papers come out,
and
it would just be would just be criticizing all the other papers.
Exactly.
Like, actually, you're wrong.
See, the best way for papers to work is if there's multiple newspapers that are willing to call each other out on stuff that they get wrong, or are purposely, putting in there that they know might not be true.
Tell you what, I'm gonna be on board if I don't get elected as a judge.
Adi, if you don't get elected as judge, I'm going to fucking burn down Saint Denis.
I mean, that wouldn't take that wouldn't be that hard, all things considered. Let's be honest.
I mean, there's enough oil barrels around. We just, pop them open, spread it all around, set it on
Well,
fire.
that's what I mean. It actually wouldn't be that hard, all things considered.
With all the factories,
Which is
all up
kinda
there, you
sad.
can just with all the factories up there, you can just make a little fire in the industry district. And
I mean, let's be honest. All you really have to do is do something with the distillery, and you're kind of
Let's not talk about how you guys nearly blew up half the town with that distillery.
I didn't do no such thing. We have no idea.
It
what
was
caused
during
it still.
your tour of Armadillo.
I'd like to say that tour was pretty. You could say that it was explosively exciting.
The weather
You're
was
you're
okay.
lucky nobody got hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
Someone during the tour knocked over a lamp or something and it started a fire and an
Ever
explosion.
since then, there's been no more tours.
He's no longer into the distillery. Can't
No,
believe
I'm
they
gonna
don't
be
lock their
honest.
doors.
There's been no tours after that.
Well, to be fair, after that tour, it's also been that we have increasingly seen less and less people come through town.
I was talking to Audie about that. It seems like people were interested for a little bit coming in town, seeing all the new thing, seeing all the buildings and all that, and then guess they lost interest or something.
Well, part of it as well was that this was, how should we say, this town used to be the place where Tom and his department would usually congregate for trainings and such. But a while ago, they started doing that exclusively in Blackwater.
Yeah, I remember the last time they did a training here. I was actually used as the hostage,
Yeah,
hostage, as some would
You-
say.
mentioned that. That's been a long while ago.
Yeah, it was a long while ago.
So effectively, the only reasons why people come out here now is just, quite frankly, to get away from people. Did meet a nice lady the other day, but she could only communicate with hand gestures and writing.
Oh,
haven't seen her
was that
since.
the deputy?
No. New person. Apache.
No. Apaches are quite rare at this part of the country. Well, not this state.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with him, but she seemed
That
nice.
must have been a long ride to get here.
She asked me if I was Pueblo. Because I was so hospitable and such.
Isn't that Spanish?
No.
Uh-huh.
Pueblo people are,
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Now I see.
I still don't understand what you mean.
it's a collective of tribal nations in the New Mexico territory.
Oh. Yeah, you're definitely not that.
I mean,
I
I don't
at
think she
least.
assumed I really was, but it's more, apparently I have characteristics that fit with those of Pueblo. So I took that as a compliment, I guess.
Hmm?
But it seems
Yeah,
like
that's when I would just say
she...
thank you.
Yeah. I mean, she also said she owes me a debt after I gave her water.
Beg for some water.
That's it.
I told her it was literally 10 cents to give her that water, and she said it's not about the money, it's about the principle.
I'm now trying to get over the fact that it was just over water. That's it.
I mean, I don't get the feeling she's spent much time in, how shall we say, non-native society.
Oh, yep, that. I guess that's fair. I guess I'm so used to just people just being able to go somewhere and get some water and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a couple pumps on the
I mean, I did
communal
show her.
pumping.
Yeah, but she
Yeah.
didn't even have bottles, so I gave her 2 bottles, showed her where the water pump is so she can, refill her bottles anytime she wants. And I told her, I might not be operating the store for long, but if she ever needs anything, she knows where to find me. So I get a feeling she's going to be living out in this area for a while.
Who knows? She might do what a lot of people do up here.
I
A
don't
lot of
think
hunting.
she is going to be too keen to go east. A lot of people with questions and such.
It is true. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure me and Audie were talking about Eastern folk earlier as well. Kind of.
Them crazy fuck.
They have a different mindset to us.
Uh,
Which I'm pretty sure I've mentioned to you before, then it's a lot different out here.
Yeah, I think you used the lemon as an example.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was the lemon example.
what if life gives you lemons?
Yeah, if life gives you a lemon, you make lemonade or something. And I said, well, the thing is that once you have that lemonade, you just wasted that lemon for one thing that's gonna satisfy you once. But I'm like that. See, we would share. I feel like we would cherish that thing and use it to make things a lot better. But then the point was brought up. Well, even though they have seeds, where would we plant them?
As far as I recall, lemon trees are not the most versatile.
Nope. And that's what's like well out in the east where land is, let's be honest, it's a lot more fertile.
I mean,
If life gave them lemons, what they'd do is they'd take them seeds and they'd just plant it and make money and money and money and money.
pretty sure we could grow oranges east from Sally's place.
That's actually what was kind of brought up. The oranges at what's his name, Mister what
Grant.
yeah,
Grant.
Dr. Grant. Yeah. It's like, well, life gave him oranges, and you know what he did? He planted an entire farm of them.
He didn't plant them.
Oh, he didn't?
It takes a while for a growth of such trees to grow. I think he bought them whilst they were part of the property.
Never mind, I gotta take all that credit away from him now. He didn't do nothing with them
I
oranges.
mean, it still takes work to maintain such a grove, but I'm just saying
I
if
Yeah,
think
but
even
but the point was that life gave him oranges. Life didn't give him oranges. He already had the oranges.
only bought them.
I guess that's one way of looking
he
at it.
bought the fruits of labor from someone else who planted said trees.
That's true.
That's a good way to put it. I think he even brought some of them down here for that armadillo rebuild.
Yeah, I remember taking a whole bunch of slices and cups of juiced oranges around to people who were still working.
And I remember that I was supposed to be there, and then I never actually ended up going. And I
Yeah,
felt bad for days afterwards.
and everybody judged you for it. Nah, I don't think most
No, the
people even
amount it
realized
made
you were
sense.
supposed to show up.
Oh, they knew I was supposed to show up.
No, I think most people didn't even know you were supposed to show up.
Well, I said for the longest time that it was going to show up, so.
Yeah, but dozens of people said that and didn't show up, so
Yeah. It's one of them things. And that's why after that situation, anytime someone's like, you should come here, I'm like, I might not. I don't really know. If I show up, I show up. If I don't, I don't. I remember a time when there'd be fighting going on right now on a Friday, or Monday.
It's Tuesday.
Mondays. And it
Yeah,
is Tuesday today, yeah.
yeah. I'm mixing up my dates, but either way, I remember when there would be something going or like not too long from now going on. Or
Yeah, there used to be people about there.
yeah, there used to be a fight, a thing we don't speak of because we don't speak of that thing.
What?
You don't talk about Fight Club.
What the fuck are
Because
you on
fuck not.
about?
11.
Why couldn't
But
we
we do
talk
talk
about
about Fight Club
Fight Night?
here. Yeah, Fight Night. Like it used to be a lot earlier, and then now it's a lot later now.
Yeah, I've been told it was to accommodate fighters who couldn't make it as early, but it kind of shot the people who couldn't make it later in the foot, like us.
Yep, and that's why it's this awkward. Like, well,
Huh?
I wouldn't have minded if it was ever so slightly later, but not that much later.
Yeah.
Oh, I got no
Like
hopes to
that was a whole
participate.
4 hours or something later.
I remember it used to be around the time I usually go to sleep, so.
Yeah, at the kind of time where you can maybe stay up later to make it, but sometimes, but
Yeah. I remember every time I got beaten out of the competition, I would just, go to bed.
I mean, to give you a reason to go to sleep.
Eh, I don't need a reason to sleep, but it's more a case of, once you're beaten out of the competition, there's also not really much to do.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm debating whether I put a note on the desk of what's going on today. Because it's gonna be sad as hell saying what I was thinking of saying.
Oh,
There was no sales.
I mean, to be fair, we're standing in a telegram office, not in a store right now. But judging Tom didn't even ask about anything.
I mean, I didn't even. I haven't heard
Too late for
who's.
that.
I haven't
Mask ain't gonna save you now.
personally seen anything at the windows I can see. If I did, I probably would run out there and ask if someone wants to buy some. The amount of times, I'm gonna be honest, that the past few times I've tried to open, anytime I've seen someone, I've been like, hey, if you need anything, just come down to the shop. I'm like, no, don't need nothing right now. I'm like, oh, okay.
Maybe that's the reason why people have started running away from me. They think I'm gonna advertise the store or something.
Well, standing in the shop wasn't enticing people, so I thought maybe I'd go with the other approach. Maybe if I told people. But apparently not. That's just not how that works. Apparently people just don't want to go. They just don't want to go. And that's just the end of the story.
We got some people around here, but I guess New Lieutenant Joel seems to be
Yeah, now
pretty
I'm
dead
thinking
after the law presences.
And I bet you if you open up the store in freaking Blackwater, then they'd all rush here then.
No, because people are over there. Like, if you're gonna come all the way down to Armadillo for shopping something, you're not living in Armadillo or out there for any reason, in the first place, you ain't got no reason to visit the store.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I think the main things that we ended up selling most of the time was literally fishing bait,
And some food.
which kind of makes sense, all things considered. Like, where else are they supposed to get fishing bait?
Yeah, that was the time when the fishing people weren't selling any.
Yeah. And now we have the fishing guild.
Yep. And that fishing guild's kind of, I want to be honest, it's made it 10 times harder. Because now they don't have to go as far. If they're all the way out here, all they have to do is put a freaking, yeah, they can just go to, like, Thieves Landing and they're good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I even went to Thieves Landing when I had to, when I heard the fishing guild was, around, and, well, I had to update them prices, and they was like, well, these got, awful expensive now.
Yep.
Like, didn't just double. It's like, well, and we also had to put a price on top of that as well. So we don't lose money.
Yep. But losing money is all that the company has been doing, essentially.
Yep. I was actually saying that to Audie, like, if it wasn't for, outside sources for money, like, logistics and, hunting, we'd already be in a hole, let's be honest.
We wouldn't have survived 2 weeks.
No. And that was always my main worry, was the fact that when most of our money was coming from outside sources, I could only imagine how long we would have survived if we didn't have those outside sources. Probably not as long. I probably wouldn't have been able to even have had a job because it probably would have been already closed by then.
Yeah. I did always expect I had to supplement income with outside sources for a while, but to the point that there's just no money coming in, it's just ridiculous.
Maybe tomorrow everything will be fine.
Yeah, I know it's not gonna do much for the store, but in the judiciary, well, justice cannot do much to for the judicial or the jurisdictions. But I'm at least gonna do my way to bring some life back into Armadillo. Gonna move my office here. Gonna start get those recruits trained because justices can actually train some of the recruits as well, especially paperwork. They've been a great help for that. And also
I mean, we have the
just
city
start,
hall.
yeah, and start push towards to having 4 jurisdictions again, so that we because all it's up for right now is just numbers, and as soon as we get those numbers up, they're gonna divide those 2 jurisdictions back to 4.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna push heavy on that from the judicial side. Obviously, it's not much and not gonna help the store right now, but
Oh, the store. I think it's gonna be a long while before the store ever becomes viable.
So, got any backup plan? What you gonna do after the store?
I've reached out to
Oh.
Dave, see about working with the game wardens.
What do game wardens even do, in all fairness?
I do believe they.
That's a genuine
work-
question, by the way.
They educate
I-
people about nature, and they keep an eye on things like hunting and
Oh,
health
there's
of
people that
nature.
makes their basins and all that stuff for all around. Right.
What?
I think that's
They
part of it,
deal
yeah.
with like the bison hunters, right? Or no? I
As far as
crazy?
I know, they don't have law enforcement jurisdiction, but they do investigate things like that. Yeah.
Oh,
But
so if
actually,
they see-
arresting people who hunt bison is still up to the sheriffs and the rangers. But
Fair.
they've been severely lacking in the desert department, so I figured I could add my expertise to theirs. Otherwise, well, I always get by.
Yeah, Audie asked me what I'm gonna be up to after, and I said I'm gonna be honest. I never planned on this happening, even though I always noticed that if we didn't have the hunting or the outside sort, like I said multiple times, like it was bound to happen at some point. But us humans we're hopeful beings.
We were just hoping there would at least be enough people coming through to justify putting in the work, but at this point it's just it's effectively just throwing money at a pit.
There's definitely a lot of stepping in, being like, maybe today will be a good business day. And then the next day, maybe today will be a good business day, to the point where it's gotten at this extent where it's, you know what, if I even just talk to someone, that's a good day to me at the very least.
Yeah, I've succeeded.
Yeah, that's pretty much how most of my days go. I'm just happy if to even see someone in town. Like, someone from outside of town, of course. We also still have our neighbors, but
Oh, it was bad. It was real bad for me at one point. At one point, I literally saw someone going through town, and I was just like, to be honest, my first thought was humans, other humans.
Potential customers and like this. The are
Then I
town
obviously asked
people.
them if they needed anything, and they said no, just riding through town. I'm like, okay.
Wait, you got to speak somebody? I'm envious.
Yes.
Like I said, during my time with the Buckett general store, I've met two people that come outside town.
Yeah.
Both of them started running as soon as I tried to approach them. Like running away from me.
Wow. Yeah, it's also a bit of a weird thing because when I hired you, like the day I mentioned, like, oh, you can work for me, was when we still had normal traffic coming through town of, people traveling through and making stops here. And like 2 days after, it just absolutely deserted when it came to people riding through.
I mean this
sweet.
jokingly, so take this as a joke. But you know what that means? It's your fault.
Yeah, I didn't break luck after all.
You killed the company, Audi.
I mean, he
Oh.
Now
killed
we're gonna
snow
kill
earlier.
you.
He did kill the snow earlier. It was snowing here at one point, and then he came into town, and it was no longer
Oh my
snowing.
God. I can't
was
believe
cheering
you've
that I
killed
was
snow. Why would you do this, Audi?
Maybe I was gunning for the sheriff's position.
Just your greed, no bounds.
It's funny because my parents gave me a name that they thought was gonna be a lucky name, you know. Ahti, like I probably mentioned, is the name of the god of the waters in the Finnish pantheon.
I see.
So my parents named me that in hopes it would bring good luck for me in life.
How's that been going?
Well, surely, at least I'm content. Somewhat.
Oh,
You see, because
I
my
was about to
name.
say that's good until you said somewhat.
Well, at least I'm not shot that much these days.
I guess that means I can say that's good somewhat.
Yeah, yeah. And you see, my last name, Forsman, it's Swedish, and it means the man of the river.
That's a lot of water.
It's I still think my parents were taking a piss on me, but
That also consists of water.
pissing name, huh? But yeah, it's a bit of a joke with my name.
Hmm.
I guess the water just describes your life perfectly.
No, like a flow of the river.
Yeah, if only that river was filled with gold.
Well, let's hope there's also gold at the end of this fucking river.
I thought that was supposed to be at the end of rainbows or something.
Well, I guess then they are acquainted. The end of the river and the end of the rainbow. Hopefully I can kill two birds with the same stone.
Wow, so violent.
And that would be efficient though.
Okay.
Violent but efficient.
Yep.
You know what? We should go sit in the store. I'll pull up some extra chairs. Might as well just turn it into a living room, since it's already what it practically is.
Oh. I suppose I really ought to get to sleep already. I was just planning on coming on keeping the store open for a few hours, but then I actually meant hang you.
Yeah,
It beat me to the punch.
I've been meaning to get a
I mean, I
second
wasn't
chair
planning
in.
on having it open that long. But then again,
Yeah, we've been at it for a few hours
I,
already.
I honestly wasn't expecting much,
Oh, get out of here, rat.
unfortunately. Oh,
There was a rat in the store.
oh, I didn't even notice it. Okay, now I've got to lock him in here. Oh! It was close, I almost got kicked there.
Oh, no, I got a rat.
I was worried there for a second, I thought you was gonna kick me.
Didn't even have to use my rifle hood.
Oh, if you're pulling up a chair for me.
You know, the other thing is, I just noticed
Don't need to.
Tom didn't even ask anything about the situation that, you know,
Well, he's not the sheriff anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess it doesn't affect him anymore.
But yeah, think I'm gonna head off now, and
I guess that means you just gotta call him Tom from now on. Like, I already called him just Tom.
I'll just call him Wells or something.
That sounds too professional.
Huh? Well, I guess he don't mind if you call him Tom.
But I think Bucket's the only one I called by his last name.
It's also
well,
because I
it's
just introduced myself as that.
I
nothing to
feel
do with this
weird
one.
calling you by your first name. I know your first name, but it feels weird calling you by it.
Well, it's at least it's prominent.
Everybody else I call by their first name though. You know what? That's what makes you special, Bucket. You're the exception.
But yeah, I really got to bid you, gentlemen, adieu for now, and good night. And,
I don't know what that means, but I think that means goodbye.
Yeah, and I'll see you around. So don't be a
Alright.
stranger.
I am a stranger.
Never with me. And have fun. Don't get shot.
That's the fun part.
With what criminals? There he goes. Never to be seen again. Oh, I know something we could get sorted, so that way it's sorted sooner rather than later.
What's that?
Payments.
Yeah, for your payments, I need to acquire money, so...
Yeah, that's true. And I saw how much we had in there, and I was like, well, we don't get no sales today.
Like, don't worry about it. I'll tally up how much I owe you and Adi, and I'll get to you when I have the money for you.
Oh, that's alright, that's alright. I'm assuming the decision's pretty much already been made, but
Unless there's a miracle today or tomorrow, Pretty much,
Yeah,
yeah.
this out of nowhere. We just get an influx of people coming in the store out of nowhere.
Alright.
Oh. You probably got the most comfy chair.
Well, it is the chair.
That's true. It is the chair. It ain't just any chair.
There.
Oh. Wonderful.
A bit more comfortable place to do things. And people still get access to the shelf, so
Oh, damn, yeah, that's true. And you know who's not gonna quit working here? We know for a fact he ain't. That man over there.
I mean, he comes with the property at this point.
Yeah, I guess that's true, yeah. As far as he's aware, nothing's changed.
I may just, potentially keep the property, but I'm just not going to focus on running a business with it anymore.
You're just gonna live out the back.
Partially, yeah. I'm also just,
Cause I'm like, that's the thing I've been wondering is, like, are you not running the business? Can you still live in the back?
I mean, I bought the property. I will still be paying taxes on it. There's also still the upper floor that needs some renovating.
So do you pay taxes on like the entire building, or do you pay taxes on like
I own the
just where
entire
you're living in the
building.
back and this? Oh,
Just
okay.
for the whole building. I own the whole building.
Okay.
Because it's not like with the gun store where, the lower floor is a store and the upper floors are two separate housing properties.
Wait. You either get the whole thing or you get none of it.
Yeah. Because, there are doors upstairs to the balcony, but there's no stairs up to that balcony from the outside, which indicates that, it's part of the private property and not the access to a separate property.
That's probably where he lives. Let's be honest.
That's where who lives?
Let's forget his name. Yeah,
Fred.
Yes, Fred. I know. I've worked out here God knows how long, and I can never remember his name.
Shall I let you in on a secret? He keeps a
What?
bedroll below the counter. He sleeps behind the counter.
Fred, that is depressing.
He's very dedicated to his job, but that's also why, I put in that note that we have to once in a while lock up the store. Because he won't make himself take breaks, ever. So we gotta do it for him.
Then again, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have any farm property at all.
Wait, aren't you leasing that house?
I haven't paid anything for it at all.
Damn.
Yeah, for all the technically, I mean, I could even say legally speaking, I am just living out of that house for free.
You're squatting.
Yep. And no, you know what the thing is? Nobody said anything about it, so as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. I even said it
mean-
to Tom, and he said he didn't even care.
Well, Tom also for the longest time kept calling it the mayor's house.
Yep. Now it's no longer considered the mayor's house.
Yeah, it always felt a bit funny with me. Why would you dedicate a whole ass house in this town for just a mayor?
But yeah, that's pretty much what it's been. I just live there, and I've never seen anyone else go in there, so I just assume at this point it's basically mine. But I haven't
No.
paid a dime for it, so as
I
far
mean,
as the government's aware,
yeah, as long as they
no
don't
one
put,
owns it still.
but they haven't put locks in place on those doors, so
Nope.
now they're just public access.
Until someone goes in there and tells me I can't be in there anymore, I'm gonna just keep using it. The alternative is a tent.
Mm.
Because there ain't no way I'm gonna be able to afford a property, I'm gonna be honest.
Mm.
I thought for a while that I was going to be able to, and then, well, the town got rebuilt, and it seems like a lot of things got a lot more expensive. And I was like, well, I guess I can no longer afford a place anymore.
I mean,
And I was getting close.
how do you feel about Quaker's Cove?
I don't know much about it, in all fairness.
Well, it's two shacks on some piers. I just know one is still available for $3,000. I believe that's the cheapest property in the whole state.
I don't even think I have 3,000.
No, but it's at least easier to obtain than 30,000.
You know how much money I would put into the store from doing, like, logistics and hunting and stuff? Like, if I didn't put stuff in when you weren't around for, like, that brief period of time.
When I was out of state for my dental,
Yeah. When you were out, like, if I didn't do nothing, I'm gonna tell you, we would have been in the negative.
oh, I know. I mean, at one point we were in the negative and we had a government bailout.
And during that, I want to be honest, I'm pretty sure I only ever got one sale. And I was like, well, that's not going to keep us until the taxes come in, so I guess I gotta go do some hunting and some logistics.
Yep.
I've been barely making any money at all. I've only had to actually pay for one of my horses to ever get trained. That's why it's like, well... Actually, my first horse never got trained. I never had to pay to get them trained. Apollo didn't. I didn't have to pay for Apollo to get trained. So I was just like, you need to get your horse trained. And I'm like, why? And then it got to the point she just was like, you know what, I'm training your horse. She never asked for anything for it.
See, I initially worked for Sal, and then I got my first horse trained by Sal, but that was around the time that every other day she was living at a different place and working from a different area.
Yeah, wasn't she
So
like,
she
wasn't she further west? I mean, further east at one point?
she was a Shady Belle at some point, yeah. I believe it's nowadays called the Viper Nest.
Yeah, she ever so slightly started moving this way. And now I never see her.
I mean, she lives in New Austin again, but thing is more, someone mentioned to her she couldn't buy the ranch she initially wanted to buy. So that's when she went to Shady Belle, and I think maybe had it for 1 or 2 weeks, and then moved to Big Valley with William Ironside. Not Ironside, White Iron, the big guy. And then
Oh,
they
from the White Iron Ranch or whatever.
yeah. Then they sold that to Otto and bought the ranch here in New Austin, but I haven't seen William in months. I'm gathering he's no longer on, the posters or the name of the ranch.
William the Doctor, you mean?
Oh, William White Iron. He was like a very big guy.
Oh. No, I don't know.
If I was talking about the former doctor, I would be saying Snakes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Because most people do refer to him as such.
That's what he prefers, apparently. So
Didn't he used to hate being called it at one point?
I think he has grown to like it.
Yeah. Grown. Forced. I feel like it was more forced, but, you know.
Yeah.
Probably easier.
Also read an article in the newspaper that alleges that Sally and Snakes are having a steamy affair, as they described it.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. It was like a little kind of like tidbit about relationships and stuff.
Sent in by a person I've never heard of. Mr. Rounder. You ever heard of someone with that name?
Personally, no.
Neither have I. So it sounds like someone with a fake name has been, saying things again. Or Poppy is just making stuff up under, fake names.
Anything's possible with the paper, let's be honest.
Yeah. I would be
You're
really
I
surprised.
feel like if you're creative enough of a writer, you can literally think of just names and names and names.
Yeah. No, I would be surprised if Sally had a relationship with someone and would leave me completely out of the loop. Because she started to joke that she and I are married.
It's funny because people joke that me and her were like some kind of weird married couple thing.
Yeah. See, the thing is with the Pascal Press, you mention even a joke around them, they may spin it as if it's serious.
I mean, we kind of embraced it at one point. We were just like, well, it's what people seem to think, so, you know what?
I know that
And we ended up making a joke of it.
I know that right
We just
after
stuck with
she spread that rumor, her brother Lucas was very sour towards me. I'm not
I
sure
mean,
if
he
that
was
was
sour
connected
towards me as
or...
well, a little bit, but
Yeah, but that guy has some fucking issues.
I told him, I'm like, here's the thing, it's not actually real life. We're not actually married at all. It's just something that people like to say for some random reason.
Yeah.
Because we're nice, dude. Apparently, we just can't. We just can't be nice to people. If we're nice to people, they see it as flirting.
Let's just say Lucas has a lot of...
Protection issues.
He has a lot of gall to even pull that kind of shit. Because from what I know, from what Sally told me, he fucking ditched her when she was young, so he could go into the army, which led to her having to be raised by Gail when that woman was somewhat more sane. And then he comes back and he acts like
Gail
everybody
was
has to
sane
go.
at one point.
What?
Gail was sane at one point.
Apparently, that's what Sally told me.
There's a part of me that don't believe that, but okay.
I mean, who knows? But I trust Sal on that one, so. Just at the same time, she did not condemn me when I mentioned I shot her after she shot Scruffy, so. I don't get a feeling that she's, making it up to herself. But back on what I was saying is, the guy ditches his own sister for years to join the military, and then he comes back and acts like every guy who might even be remotely interested in her have to talk to him. Like she's his property or something.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
You can't play with my toy. It's like, it doesn't make sense. Sally is, is her own person.
Yeah, I'd hope she's a grown woman at this point.
She is a lot more mature than I've seen ever come out of him. And it just feels like, every time he gets upset about, something relating to her and guys, it just feels like he doesn't trust her judgment. And it pisses me to fuck off.
No, that's... I want to say he's overly protective, but it makes no sense considering...
I mean, apparently, their
like he's
father
trying
and
to
another
make up
brother of
for
theirs is also here and also joined the law department, so. A lot of Sterlings in the Western Department at one point.
It is a lot of... Wait, how many Sterlings?
I mean, between Sally being a secretary and two of her brothers and her father, that would be 4 Sterlings.
That's a lot. That is a lot of Sterlings.
Yep. Never got to have a conversation with Tom about that. About how it seems weird that he has 4 Sterlings that are very closely related in his department.
Well, it's no longer his department anymore, so...
Yep.
Now, based on what he said earlier, do you think he's gonna go back to his old ways?
What, Tom?
Yes, Tom.
I think he probably will take a good long think about what that will mean for him if he does that. Because he got thrown into solitary for beating up someone in custody. Imagine what will happen to him if, he goes into a criminal path.
That's the thing. There's only one or two things he can do with this experience. To say it very nicely.
Let's just say, from what I gather, he has done some shit before. He had a second chance. He would absolutely be one of the greatest idiots in the world to throw that away right now. Because he felt the urge to punch someone in the face. For whatever reason.
It's the thing with the fact he didn't regret it even in the slightest, and he said he would do it again. Makes it seem like he's already taken a bit of a step in that direction.
Listen, there have been people I've done stuff to that I also have no regrets about and will do again. But there are circumstances to that. I don't think Tom just randomly thought, oh hey, this guy's in a cell, I'm just gonna beat him up now. I'm sure there was some reason for it that led up to it.
Thing is, I feel like judging him for doing that is equivalent to like when you did when you like shot Gale because of the dog situation. It's the same equivalent, like, but except in this situation, I saw you do it, and I understand why you did it, and I kind of was like, well, as far as I'm aware, she kind of deserved it. It's not like none of the law did nothing about it.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do it, they probably would have as well, so what's the difference?
Well, the law probably wouldn't have, but I know for that a lot of the people that were not law were, after the fact, telling me they were they were very close to doing the same as I did. But I also didn't get a big charge about it, and surprisingly, Gail, whilst in prison, was clamoring for me to be let out, that I should not have been charged. It was chaos.
I mean, that whole situation was chaos, let's be honest.
Yeah, that was the moment she understood that I shot her because she shot my dog.
It was very much an of the moment kind of situation. It wasn't like a you just did what you believe was right at the time.
No. It's not like I knew that person, that she would be there, and decided to come halfway across the state and then ask, like, hey, can you leave me alone with her for a few minutes, and then, then start shooting her. It was very much a reaction of emotion, and that's why I also didn't get a too bad charge on me.
And that's why I can't, and that's why I never judged you for it. I was like, you know what, I'm pretty sure I told you, I like, considering the circumstances, I probably would have done the same, but at the same time, like, it's me we're talking about, let's be honest.
Let's just put it this way, Hank. Pray you don't have to become a person that has to shoot people. Don't ever hesitate when you have to, but just hope hope the day never comes.
I hope there is never a day that day ever comes.
Yeah.
But, what, things happen in life, so.
And even if it happens, you should not get used to it.
No. That's the thing that distincts someone from being just someone that made a mistake and someone that, will keep making them mistakes. Whether they keep doing it. Cause, oh, I shot that person and I actually felt good about it versus I shot that person because at the time that's the thought that was going through my mind.
I was more referring to numbness. If
Yeah.
you get happy about it, then yeah, then you're truly lost.
I think that's my only worry about Tom is there. I don't know, like I've only heard about his past.
Yeah, I've also not been there to see it.
And yeah, that's the thing. It's a very much I hate being in them situations of he said she said because I have no like I can't do nothing with he said she said like he said she said
Exactly, then
like I
it's just
can't base
entirely
anything
down
off
to
it.
who do you trust more than the other. And it's just a bad situation to be in.
But with this, all I know with Tom is he was a sheriff. I've seen him do sheriff things. I've
I've also
never seen
seen,
him not do. So I'm leaning towards the hoping that he doesn't go into a life of crime, but at the same time, it's like, well, he did have a past where he was in a life of crime.
yeah, but the thing is, he also has friends here. And a lot of those
I think
friends
he
are
would
in law.
prioritize his friends.
I don't know, I feel like the moment you have friendships that, might make things complicated, people tend to shy away from doing the thing that would hurt people they care about, or they go somewhere else to do the things that they're planning to do.
He's probably
So,
just combing through his emotions at this time. Like, let's be real.
I mean, he was already prepared for it no longer being sheriff after the upcoming elections because there's just so many terms you can have. He was getting out of that office either way,
Pretty much.
and he chose to do it a bit earlier. I assume for personal gratification against a man who put him on a kidnapping list, so. Because I remember one time he forgot to mention to people he was going to sleep during a period that the whole kidnapping scare was pretty high. So there was an several hour long hunt to find him or the people who could have taken him, and then he shows up apparently saying, "Oh yeah, no, I was napping," and a lot of people almost yelled at him. You could have told someone. He did alright as a sheriff, but he's not he's not the brightest of the bunch.
No. One of them situations where, like, you can be really good at your job, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're good at being a person.
Yeah.
And then there's some people that are the complete opposite, where they're terrible at their job, but they're a really good person.
Oh well. I should have put down this table and chairs a lot sooner. Because even if business is slow, at least means you have a place to sit with people and just chat. While still being at your place of business when people do happen to come around.
It is true.
But as I jokingly said on the way here, I might as well just start using this place a bit more like it's already being used as. It's my goddamn living room.
Yeah, I chuckled a little bit after you said that. But you were already away when I chuckled, so you didn't really hear me. It was kind of under my breath.
Mm.
Making light of a bad situation.
I mean, if I keep the property, I might as well just, utilize this floor space. And if people complain, well, it's my property.
Like, I still technically own it.
Yeah.
I just not run it as a business no more.
Yeah.
You gotta buy things from Fred, you can buy things from Fred. If you wanna buy
Fred
things
will
off,
still
yeah,
be
there you
here,
go.
but, I don't want to hear people complaining when they come in the door to my property and being like, well, why are you sitting here at a table? This is a store. It's like, well, it used to be a store.
Someone will find some weird loophole to argue that.
I have no doubt about it, but
Like, well, technically it's still a store, but
store
like, well,
services are
also
still
technically
being
it's still my
provided.
property, so
I'm just not going out of my way for it anymore. If someone wants some information, sure, I can give them some information, but I'm not gonna bother, putting stockpiles in the cellar to, have
sit
sit
there
there
and rot.
wasting away because nobody ever buys them.
I'm gonna be honest, I was half tempted to grab some fruit from there, but then I was like, I feel the necessity to pay for it.
Practically, you've already done so, but
That is true.
if you want to grab some fruit, grab some fruit. I really doubt a miracle happening before tomorrow, so.
Man. I think that's the thing. Between me and you, we're a bit more like realists. We know what's happening. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, but hey,
Yeah.
will it be sad? It'll be sad, but at the same time, like, it was bound to happen.
It's not sad. It would rather be a, burden off our
I guess
shoulders.
not. I guess not sad, but like, maybe disappointing's a good word for it.
I think the word you're thinking of is unfortunate.
Yeah. Like, like, you wish it could be better, but,
Yeah.
well,
But there's other factors involved, and some people said, well, the location is bad. But I took this business because this town had a severe supply issue. And then I provided a supply, solution. So the local people or neighbors, they are fine, they getting the stuff they need, but the travelers, they're just not showing up anymore.
pretty much.
So why should I do extra effort for travelers that don't show up? They can just utilize Fred.
Which we know people do.
I mean, to be honest, in the last month, the days that I've been keeping the store open, I've not even seen people approach Fred for goods. It has been that calm.
Oh, wow. Now I know why people don't buy so much corn whenever they do buy it. Corn is not filling in the slightest.
Yeah. Would be better if we could turn it into a cornmeal or such, and
But you said, you said to grab some like fruits or something. So grab some corn. I was gonna grab some meat, cause usually that stuff goes rotten a lot quicker. I think.
the meat we have in there is being prepared to be lasting a lot longer.
Oh, it has like
It's not
preserve
just
and stuff
cooked;
and
it's
all
also
that.
preserved and such. Yeah.
Where all the fruits and all that don't have any kind of stuff, to my knowledge, at least.
The fruit is just effectively keep it in the cellar so it keeps cool compared to the air above ground. But even then, after a couple of weeks, I do have to throw most of it out and get replenishments. So what's currently in there should still be good. But it's also why I wrote in the note that, if I decide the store is, no longer going to continue as a current business, that you guys are free to just grab whatever out of the cellar, essentially. Because, well,
And
anything
once we
that
run out of stuff, I'm assuming we're just gonna be out of stuff, and that's it.
pretty much. I mean, I'm probably going to take a bunch of the stuff that can last a bit longer, store it in a better place. But like the perishables, fishing bait, like a whole bunch of stuff that just reasonably I don't need to, nobody needs to stockpile for winter. That can just
Thing is,
go.
there was very much times where I was just like, see, I could grab some meat out of there and purchase it. The thing is, I'm like, what benefit is there in me purchasing it while I'm
You would
just here?
essentially just be paying yourself because that is money that would be going towards paying you back.
Yeah, so it wouldn't really be not really worth it when you think about it. That's why I was just like, well, I'll just go hunting and whatever.
It would just create a loop.
And I think that's the other thing with stores is people can literally just people can just go out and hunt, like, and I know that because I'm that person too. I'm like, sure, I could go to a store and buy some food or whatever, but at the same time, I'm like, that you know how many animals there are around here? There's so many animals, and I don't really need a lot of it.
Yeah, but then you have to worry about, well, let's just say if you're only eating meat, you're not getting everything your body needs.
No,
But there are ways to get that, but let's just say I could do with a good cookbook.
oh, probably. Pretty sure I have one somewhere.
I don't mean the one for campfire cooking, I mean like the real deal.
Oh,
Maybe I'll go check out that bookstore that opened up recently in Saint Denis.
thing is, I might go over there and not to the bookstore. I'm not much of a. I read the newspaper. That's my reading. I'm gonna be honest. But I might get heading out.
Yeah, sounds good. I think I'm gonna head to bed soon as well.
Are you
Because
gonna
I
do
sent a
some big thing
telegram
when this
to.
closes, or are you just gonna close it and then
I'm
move
just
on
gonna
with life
close it.
essentially? Okay. No, that's fair. I was kind of expecting that. I mean, like I said, we're both pretty much realists. I mean, there's no need to make a big deal about it.
No.
I have some weird feeling that Pop is gonna find out and make some weird news article about Buckett's shop is closing and blah 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 and all that stuff.
I mean, did you read what she wrote in the last newspaper? Well,
Yes.
it's not even writing because she just copied my telegrams word for word.
Yeah, which was the other thing. I was like, wait, is this like as I was first reading it because I didn't read the last part until like I got to that part. I was just sitting there like, did, did Poppy really just take a telegram and just release it to the public? And then I read the last part. I'm like, oh, never mind. He did say you did say that. Would you really say no to her or whatever? You basically allowed her.
I said I wasn't going to tell her no if she wanted to write an article about it. That's not writing an article about it.
No, that wasn't that was taking it word for word.
Yeah. Oh well.
That's why I was like, well, huh.
When I wrote that, I did, you know, really feel like if somebody came up and offered me a sandwich for this building, I would just sell it to him. I was that done. But then some people came by and I heard from Sally, so things were starting to be okay a bit again. So I'm not gonna sell this place for a sandwich. I just put way too much money into it to sell
Of
it for
course you
that
wouldn't.
kind of a price.
That'd be cheap. That would be real cheap.
Yeah. Oh well. At least it would be
It
it would be
is.
their financial burden after that time.
That is true.
And they get to have a store that makes no money.
Well, I'm gonna get walking. It's not even that far. We're walking all fairness.
Ah, yes, you have to cross the road and get to the house that you are squatting in.
Yes.
That whole minute of walking, oh poor soul.
Oh, poor me. Oh, boo hoo hoo.
Have a good night, Hank.
You too.
Okay, Aaron, let's see if there's someone streaming right now. Either in the community or in my friends list. Communities. Nobody apparently doesn't even report that I'm live. Yay. Oh. Loopy is live right now. Let's go say hi to Loopy. Da, 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 da. Which one's the raid button again? There it is. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and see you all later. Bye-bye now. Whee!